Hey guys, I'm Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video where today we are here with a Zombies Q&A, the series where I take your questions from the comment section below to do with the zombie storyline, Easter eggs, and I answer them. As always, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do by now. Drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. But let's get right into it. Here we go and enjoy. So the first question of today is from Manuel, or Manuel, I don't know how you pronounce your name, sorry bro, but you say, hey BOA, why did Group 935 get the Nova 6 gas? Nova 6 first appeared in Black Ops 1 on the campaign mission. How did the Germans get it? Love your videos. So there's actually some very interesting history behind Nova 6. Originally, it was actually developed by Nazi Germany during the course of World War II by Frederick Steiner. It was intended to be used in their V2 rockets, which were targeting major capital cities such as Washington. However, it was later seized, refined and used by the Soviets as a component of a Grand Soviet sleeper cell plan by Dragovich, in which, if you actually played the Black Ops 1 campaign, the main objectives of Alex Mason and the CIA was to stop that happening. And then as we move further down in our timeline before the events of Black Ops 3, Nova 6 was secretly being manufactured by the Coalescence Corporation, potentially on behalf of the CIA. And that's how we can link it into zombies. If we know originally it was created by Nazi Germany and Group 935 linked up with the Nazis would have given Group 935 Nova 6 gas to do whatever they wanted to do with it, use it in their experiments, give the effect of Nova 6 to zombies to make them more powerful, because we know the two parties did a deal where the Nazis would give Group 935 funding, they would give them money, and also places to set up research facilities, and in return, Group 935 would give the Nazis a zombie horde. And I guess, along with that, one of the things that the Nazis also gave to Group 935 was Nova 6 gas. But, as I just mentioned, it wasn't only Germany that produced it. Even though they started it, later on other people would go on to get it. Some Nova 6 was seized by the Soviets, they used it. It's the same for the Americans. So that's that. Whilst we're on this subject, there's also some interesting history behind this in the Nightmares mode. If for some reason you don't know what this is, it was supposed to be, I guess you could say, the campaign of zombies. It's difficult to describe because it wasn't very good, but in Nightmares it was actually revealed to us that Nova 6 was fused together with Element 115 to create a mind control serum during the DNA testing in 2060. However, we know it backfired, which created a portal to Malum, and that then allowed Demos to escape, in which he released 6115, and that is the combined name of the two elements, 6 being Nova 6 and 6115, and that would then go on to create his undead army. Also, what's interesting is, in Call of Duty Online, Colonel Hacker mixed Nova 6 with Element 115 to create the Dirty Bomb. That's something I didn't know, probably because I don't play COD Online. But yeah, that explains why we see canisters of Nova 6 in zombies maps such as 5 and Nacht Der Untoten. It's because it was being used by all of these groups. The Americans, the Germans, the Russians. So there we go. The second question of the day says, why can you draw wall guns in Buried? Keep up the good work. Well, that is a good question. As I've said many times now, I always still see this question in the comment section below. It's either where does the mystery box come from, where do the chalk drawings of weapons on the walls come from, or who gives us the perks? Those are three of the most common questions I've answered many times, and all three of those are given to us by Dr. Monty. He gives us the weapons on the walls, and he transports the perks from location to location for us. But this question is a little bit different because you're asking, why can we actually draw the weapons for ourselves when we know it is Dr. Monty that gives us the wall weapons? Why would he allow us to do this? That's assuming it is him. I mean, maybe there's a chance that this has no story reasoning behind it. It means nothing and is just a new feature that Treyarch put into Buried, because it was quite interesting that it was only available for us to do on this map. I thought it was pretty neat, and going off the top of my head, we couldn't do it again after this. I think that's more likely to be the case, more than, I don't know, Dr. Monty deciding to be creative, give us something extra to do. If this did have a story, I can't see a reason as to why Dr. Monty would allow us to do this. It doesn't really make too much sense, so for that one I would just have to say there is no reason. It's just a cool feature that Treyarch added in. The next question says, why is the moon in Nacht Der Untoten so big? This is something I've thought a load of times, but I've never really seen anyone else bring it up. We see the moon in loads of our zombies maps. We see different unique features about it. If we go to the original Derice, If you zoom in with a sniper scope, you could see the moon base. If you go to Der Eisendrache, we actually get to blow up the moon. And if you compare the moon to real life on certain zombies maps, it sometimes looks a little bit different to the one we actually see. You could say, okay, it's a game. They can't get it exactly. But what's interesting about Nacht Der Untoten, as you see in this comment, is the fact that the moon is absolutely massive. And as far as I'm aware, I don't know, I've only been on this earth 22 years, but as long as I've lived, I've never seen a moon this big. I mean, I don't believe it's possible for us to see the moon this close up from Earth, which then brings up the question, is Nacht Der Untoten even on Earth? If so, how are we seeing the moon this close up? Could it be on another planet? If we look in the Canorium, there is no mention of it. In fact, Nacht Der Untoten's really only mentioned once. And the fact that we are told that a plane was flying over the facility, which led to the zombie outbreak here, that means Nacht Der Untoten has to be on Earth if there's a plane flying over. Surely it's got to take place on Earth. Kind of like the Shangri-La scenario, where we all thought it took place on Mars, but again, Brock and Gary were flying on a plane over the place, so it has to be on Earth. But then there is conflicts to that because we go to Nacht Der Untoten, where there is an Easter egg that shows a planet that is very close to us. I believe that planet was Mars. I'll link that video down in the description just in case you haven't seen it. But there's always been theories around certain maps taking place on different planets, but never about Nacht. However, it is interesting when you actually look at it that the moon is so close. So I'll leave that one there, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. The next question from Rhino Boy says, hey Black Ops Amazing, what is the objective of Nacht Der Untoten? Love your videos. So I believe you're asking, why did the crew travel to Kino? What was the point? Well, unlike all of our other zombies maps, there wasn't actually a point to traveling to Kino because the crew weren't supposed to go here. This wasn't their intentions. After fighting against the zombie horde at the Dries facility, the crew were on a mission to recover Richtofen's diary. The diary, as we know, was located at the Ascension base. That was where they were intending to travel to. However, whilst attempting to teleport, they accidentally shot the Wunderwaffe DG2, it overloaded, and were instead sent to the Nacht Der Untoten facility. And this was strange for Richtofen because he never even knew this place existed. If it wasn't for this accident, Richtofen wouldn't have known of this secret Group 935 facility. But the reason we don't really have an Easter egg in that map is, well, not only because during that time main Easter eggs weren't really a thing, but also they weren't supposed to come here. They didn't have an objective because teleporting to Kino was an accident. And so when they arrived there, they end up fighting off against the zombie horde until they can find a lunar lander where they then use it to fly to the Ascension facility. Hence why we see in the beginning of Ascension, as you're loading into the map, you initially come down in a lunar lander. It was the Ultimus crew that found it at Kino and used it to travel to the next map. The next question from Assassin Cookie _YouTube or YT says, hey BOA, question, where does the Panzer go when you die? Yet again, another one that I haven't really thought of. Now, this isn't one that I've done research into because, well, I didn't really think it was important. But when you think about it, it also doesn't really make too much sense because the Panzer Soldat flies down into the map from the sky, and then when he leaves, he also shoots back up into the sky and he's gone. Where does he go to? Also, if you actually watch him go up, it's pretty funny. The speed and the height that he goes, it's just like he goes into space. But where possibly could the Panzer be going? These suits were made by Group 935. They were made for different purposes, to dig things, dig up materials. That was their main objective. Of course, until the zombie outbreak started and the person inside of the suit became infected. So just like the giant robots, shouldn't they just be patrolling the area or just staying on the ground? As to why they shoot off into the sky and then come back down, it's a bit of a strange one, and where they could possibly be going to, I have no idea. As far as I'm aware, we haven't been told anything about this in quotes. It definitely isn't in the Canorium, and I don't think it's in radios. If there is something, then I've totally missed it, but from my knowledge there isn't. This one is very, very strange. I'm thinking that maybe Treyarch just didn't think about this. I mean, what other way could you have him enter the map? He's not going to dig himself out of the ground like the zombies or come through barriers. And if we look at other special enemies, they just appear out of nowhere, like the parasites or the hellhounds. A lot of special zombies do appear out of nowhere, and I guess this guy's way of entering the map is to just fly out of nowhere. But I would like to know, when he leaves, where is he going? Anyway guys, there we go, that is it. That is all I have for you for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, you know what to do. Drop a like rating if you want to. If not, it's totally fine. Thank you guys for watching anyway. Make sure you are subscribed, and I will see you in the next video. Leave your questions in the comment section below, and until then, goodbye.